Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Guys, we are in an interesting state of anime when it comes down to not only this game really showing me, this anime game showing me that there's so much that can pop off at any time. We have giant monsters that are pretty much unique and only show up in certain areas or like at certain times, which there's something I used to play called Final Fantasy 11, which they were called notorious monsters, where you can spend a whole bunch of time traveling in areas with monsters, but sooner or later you'll find a monster that looks different than all the others and uh excuse me, looks different, and the whole name changes dramatically. And because of it, it was a monster that was not supposed to be tampered with. If if you were leveling up in the area and monsters were like close enough to your level or gave you XP and stuff like that, for you to then run up on a notorious monster, that's what I want to call these things, is an NM. You get bopped. Like you're just dead. Like you should not have done that, and you're going to pay for it pretty much. And now that we've seen this, and we've seen pretty much what we're probably going to get for the duration of the show, in the case of like if things aren't going anywhere, we can see what could pop around the corner at any given time, right? Not only that, this was clearly a episode where I have been telling you guys we don't know much about these characters. And what is the first thing we do in this week's episode? We go out and we learn just how dangerous the world is, even more than we already knew. And that's kind of my point that I was making about this show, is there's so much going on and so much happening that you kind of get lost once you remember that this is a video game world that we know so much about, but we have a character named Ray who we know zero about. Like, why does he like these types of games? What does he expect to become after he reaches a high level? Does he want to even reach a high level? These are the things that we're just left in the dark. I mean, sure, he wants to level up and grind a little bit to catch to the guy who PK'd him, but other than that, we have no real determination or grind for him besides, oh, if these NPCs die, they die for real. Is this really a game? Like, that's about the most we've seen from him thinking for himself and not just playing the game or moving forward. But regardless of all that, this show is cool. Like, they have really cool concept. It's just hard to believe that we know practically nothing about these characters. And I mean, Nemesis is understandable. She's like a weird like weapon that he gets to use. So I didn't expect his Nemesis to be, us know more about it than him already, right? So I don't know. I feel weird about not knowing so much about the main character. Like, for instance, he could be the bad guy for all I know, and the way things are like going. So I don't know. I'm just interested in seeing where certain things pop off, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure people are enjoying this. Like, pretty sure people can get behind this show as a whole, because not only is it something where most people don't even get to understand a lot of the concepts that are going on in shows. This show is making it abundantly clear that you have a good grasp on what the world could throw at them at any time. Uh, and the last time I checked, when they were fighting this ginormous orc or whatever, it goes to show you how like detailed or how much different stuff even goes into like their monsters design, right? He straight up goes in, destroys its whole entire head. Oh my god, I just tried to hold down something for Soul Calibur. And because he did that, it just went to show us that, hey, if anybody is capable of, you know, this crazy feats, it is him. But then instantly after he destroys the head, he still gets hit by a counter punch, which is kind of crazy because the monster has actually no freaking head. So to know that it's still counter punching and stuff like that and fighting was actually cool. And another reason why the world itself or this game itself is so much cooler than like the character or what we know of anything going on so far. Because to be fair, I do see things changing in that regards. Like maybe we're just gonna get a whole bunch of character development and stuff like that. But with the person who could tame, I was certain that our main guy Ray, was the one who should have ended up with the mount. But I think he like because the person tamed it and like overruled his victory over it because like I'm pretty sure it said that he had obtained the bird. Like it said that he was rewarded and the gauntlets. So maybe he didn't really make a fuss over it because he got the gauntlets and the money they got was like ridiculous, like 5 mil or something like that. So they wanted to like split it, or maybe it was just a mil. But regardless, they wanted to split it evenly and give it, everybody get a different share and stuff. And like I said, the argument was only about, who was getting too much or who should get more, something along those lines, which is understandable. Like that's the only real character stuff we know about Ray is he's not selfish. He didn't want all this stuff, but of course, with him being the one to deal the final blow, and that's how he attained the bracers. And not only that, the person that was with them, he had one person that can't help at all, right? Like one person that threw an elixir, which is pretty helpful, but when it comes down to actually fighting and taking HP down, can't help. Um, and then you have someone else who practically can't help, but because they're there, they at least took some attention off of them, which was nice. So it's these types of things that clearly have this show, um, you know, in a weird spot for me because as of now, I don't really know who or what's going to pop off around the corner, but I can easily tell you that when it does pop off, who's going to be on top if he keeps growing the way he does with not only getting this Hybrid or Hellberg, this spear that he earns this week, um, it comes with such dramatically good skills on it that it kind of just goes to show you that he is going to grow nonetheless. And if he does keep growing, we might just see the final form or like the top form for Nemesis relatively quickly with how not only they had the EXP boast in their party, but also they're just going against disgustingly strong monsters all the time. And as we see this week's episode, being a paladin was his best choice with how much he kind of just kept charging in. Like he had no real plan. And every time he got a hit in, he had to take a hit back. It was almost like this game is turn-based and we don't even know it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it went from being maybe not turn-based and you can kind of avoid every single attack if you really, get the upper hand and stuff, to, okay, yeah, this is turn-based. Oh my god. This damage. I died? Okay. Well, that happened. Um, but overall, I want to see what this show can offer because at the end of the day, we all know that this kid is just at the beginning of his grind. So if he winds up skyrocketing out of nowhere, it won't be it won't be too crazy because we've seen a good amount of his growth already and how much he can gain off of just one fight here and there, including when they're fights no one's supposed to really be able to beat alone without having like a party preparing for certain aspects. Like for instance, he should have had some antidotes and all that different stuff to take care of poison, weaken, and intoxication. But going into this place and not even knowing this guy is going to show up is the reason why it's such a crazy thing that he would end up with a win. They had no idea this guy could show up, and if even if they did have an idea, they clearly weren't prepared for it, right? In the case of having step-by-step ways to counteract the stuff that's going to happen. um, I mean, even if you had like if you knew it could shoot flames out of its mouth, you could prepare for, wear flame-proof stuff so you take zero flame damage, and stuff like that in these games that I know exist. It's just that our characters got the worst case scenario by wanting to stop and help and running into something that was disgustingly strong. So, all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will try to get you out more stuff as soon as possible. So, with all that being said, peace.